Gary, players back in this morning after a fantastic comeback on Tuesday night. How's the camp?
Yeah, a little bit tired. We got back at 4:30 in the morning after what was a brilliant comeback. Great effort from everyone, starters, finishers, put everything into the game, and a good point in the end. Probably could have won it with the chances we created second half, but I think the players showed their commitment to keep going this season, to finish the season off as strongly as they can, and we have to build on that on Saturday in what is another extremely difficult game.
Someone we didn't talk about post-match on Tuesday night was Jake Richards, given a start, and I was really impressed with him over that first 45 minutes.
Yeah, he was excellent. I said to him at half-time he had to come off where his calves were feeling tight, and we didn't want to put him at any risk, because hopefully he can play more games this season. But for a 16-year-old boy to play, and he is a boy, to play in that environment against League One players, he shows a quality in possession and even out of possession. I thought his physicality for someone so young was really good. He got himself an opportunity in the box. We played him a little bit higher. I think he can play deeper as well, where he plays more for the under-18s and the development games. But he showed again the potential that he has, and he's going to be a fantastic player.
What do you want to see out of Jake in these last few games of this season? I mean, there's no doubt about it that he's an experienced head on young shoulders.
Yeah, I want to see what we've seen on Tuesday, somebody that expresses himself and shows his quality in possession. He's somebody that carries the ball really well. He has a fantastic drop of the shoulder where he's not the quickest player, but he gets away from people with his technique and his body movements. Yes, I want to see him enjoying his football. Hopefully he can get a goal playing higher up. Like I said, he got in the box and got a good chance on Tuesday. So just to see a 16-year-old playing is something that obviously for this football club is really important, the academy. But I think it shows, again, there's not many 16-year-old players playing in the EFL, if any. But it shows at this football club we give players opportunities, and when they are as good as Jake, then that's easier, because he's, like I said, he's a fantastic talent that's going to have a great career, and it's great that we can give him those first opportunities in football. And like I said, there's 3 games to go where hopefully he gets even more minutes. He started the season really well, pre-season. He came to the fore and obviously played, funnily enough, against Leyton Orient, was his other league start this season, and then had some injuries and problems midway through the season, but he's came back again second half of the season and been very good. And again, the development of players is never linear. It's always going to be like that, where they have highs and lows, and it's our job as coaches to help them, in those moments, the good and bad moments, so that their development continues. And like I said, Jake is a young player with lots of potential, and we have to keep working with him to make sure that potential comes out, and now and in the future.
On to this weekend's game. We played a team struggling in a relegation zone in Cheltenham a couple of weeks ago. I guess the experience from that one will be good going into this one, given Port Vale's league position.
Yeah, well, and I think what we have to make sure is our motivation is high. We are going to a stadium and a team that is fighting for their life, and that can, sometimes raise their game to different levels than they probably have been throughout the season. You always see later in the season teams down the bottom get results that they just didn't get during the season. So we have to make sure that, first of all, we recover today, but over the next few days we obviously prepare, as we always do, in terms of the analysis and on the training pitch, so we have a clear game plan. But for me, everyone, myself, the staff, the players, we have to make sure our motivation is extremely high. What do we want to achieve this year? What do we want this football club to be? And that is important in the next 3 games, none more so than Saturday.
What are you expecting from Port Vale?
A competitive team. They've been, probably had a similar season to ours, where they had a great start. They lost their manager midway through the season, and it's not had the obviously the effect they wanted to have at that time, and they still find themselves down the bottom of the league. but they have a manager that knows the league extremely well. He's won promotion out of the league, so they will be very organised. The pitch is extremely big at Port Vale, so we have to utilise that to our advantage and play the football that we know we can. But we have to be committed, we have to be aggressive, because they will put us under pressure and fight for absolutely everything. So it's a big test, but one that we have to look forward to.
Similarly to recent matches, can we expect names on the team sheet that perhaps haven't had many minutes?
Yeah, like I said, after the Stevenage game, when Al was captain, and we said why we were doing certain things. I think the biggest thing we have to be in every game is competitive. The main priority in every game is to win. That's been the case from Stevenage. On Tuesday night, it was no different. We put a team in the park that we felt could win the game, and you've seen players, starting the game, coming onto the park that wanted to win the game. So we have to assess everyone. There's a lot of knocks and kind of bruises from Tuesday. It's been a long season for some players. For other players, they're itching to play because they've missed certain parts of the season. So we'll assess everyone. We'll put a team in the park that I believe can win. But hopefully we see different things that we might not have seen this year because of injuries or younger players coming into the team. So to try and get all those things right is difficult for myself and Kev and Perks, but that's what we aim to do. We aim to give players opportunity, and we aim to win every single game.
On the injuries front there, Sonny Cox missed out on Tuesday, as was expected, given that hamstring injury. Do you think we may see him again this season or not?
Probably not. He probably, if we had a cup final to play the last game of the season, he could get fit for that, but because of the nature of the injury, because obviously he's a young player who has had an incredible season and one that we value really highly, and will go on to be an amazing player for this football club. We have to look after him, so Michael will take that slowly, and he probably won't play again this season.
You mentioned knocks and bruises from Tuesday. Is there anyone else that's perhaps 50-50 or not certain for Saturday?
Jack Aitchison's struggling with a groin problem. Reece has got a back problem. Jake's calves were tight. He had to come off. Vinny's hamstring, there was a problem. But, all of them, could be okay, and they all might miss out. So we have to assess everyone today. The group will train in kind of different parts. Some will be recovering, some will be training. And then tomorrow we'll put the squad together and travel up north.
Just finally, a word on the supporters. Fantastic numbers travelled to London on Tuesday, and now the second of 3 consecutive away games. But as we've said time and time again, it really does make a difference, that 12th man and that vocal support.
Yeah, they're amazing. The distance they have to travel, I think, I didn't know how far it was down here before I came, but people, who have been down here know just how far they have to travel. It's, when I came down here, I thought London was just across the map, and it's hours away. So, yeah, the time that it takes to get everywhere, which obviously they have jobs, they have different things in their life that, to give up that time is incredible. And then financially, to go, all over the country is a huge cost. And they're amazing. They back the team. On Tuesday, I didn't want the team to celebrate as much as they did in the second goal, but for our supporters to have those moments is really special, and hopefully we can give them 3 games and give them big moments on these games, because they are amazing what they do for this football club.